Chasing paper today.
Yo, what is good? It's your boy B Moore. Joined, the man is back in the building, joined by my co-host Rustin Stewart. What is good, man? My boy back, he's in Miami. What is good, man? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, B? You know, I'm living this South Beach, Miami lifestyle, man. I'm settling in. And, yeah, man, I'm just keeping on the shades all the time because it's bright and sunny and hot, B. Oh, yo, man, it's May and it's like 85 degrees, man. I wasn't expecting this.
Is it 85 there?
Yeah, it's 80. It's 88 right now, man. I mean, I don't want to complain, B. I'm not going to complain. But I was thinking that it's going to be like low 80s, maybe 75, 78, but not like 88. But, you know, it's Florida, right? It's Miami.
It is Florida. Now, I will say this. I love Miami. I've had some of the greatest moments, highlights of my life have taken place in Miami. But I will say this, in terms of the weather, I'm not a huge fan of Florida weather. I'm more of an LA weather kind of guy, because even though I love warm weather and I love heat, Miami has that humid kind of weather. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll rain at any point during the day in Miami. So that moisture and that humidity is still kind of in the air. So I'm more of a dry heat, you know, fresh heat kind of guy, as opposed to more of a humid heat kind of guy. So how you adjusting to the humidity there in Miami?
Ooh, B. Surprisingly, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and surprisingly, it's really humid in Kansas City in the summertime.
Okay.
So I'm getting used to it, you know, but there is no 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 82 degrees already with high humidity. And it has, you know, I have experienced that unexpected shower.
Yeah.
You know, it's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The good thing is it doesn't rain like too long. No. It rains for probably maybe like 30 minutes, right, and then it's sunny and hot again. So, yeah, my body's getting accustomed to it. I think that I'm already tanned up. I tan really easy. So, yeah, man, I just keep the air conditioner on blast in my apartment, man.
Yeah, the thing about rain in Miami, rain does not ruin any plans. Like when I'm in Chicago and it rains, I may have had something I have been planning to do for a while. If it rains, I'm like, do I even want to go? But like in Miami, if it'll rain like torrential thunderstorm for like 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes. And then in an hour, the sun's back out. The rain does not stop any plans in Miami because they're just so used to it raining all the time. And they're like really quick showers, you know?
Well, for the people that know me in New York, man, if it rains, I'm not coming out. I'm the kind of person that will look at the weather and set my plans. If I see that it's supposed to rain all day on Thursday and it's Tuesday, I'm like, can we do Friday? Because New York rain is something different because you're walking around in it. Yeah. You're walking everywhere, you know? So you walk into the subway, you're in the rain, and it just messes up your outfit. It messes up your shoes. So hopefully I don't get caught out in these torrential downpours that come out of nowhere. But, you know, if it happens, oh, well, I mean, it probably feel good because it's so humid here, man. But I've just been kind of just settling in, man. It's change is a very funny thing, B. You know, it's a very funny thing. I'm just, you know, I got my gym membership, so that's off the list. So I go to a gym called Anatomy. Okay. It's a pretty cool gym down here in South Beach. They have I think they have 3 locations. The 3rd location is about to open up next Monday, but it's a smaller gym, but people go hard. People go hard, and the level of eye candy is pretty good, you know, females and guys, you know, so that kind of is motivation to go hard, right? So just trying to figure out everything, find my routine. I found my nail salon so I can get my pedis and my manis, and it's just around the corner. I'm living right across from Lincoln Mall, man. So this very convenient, just pop outside. I already have my little cafe that I go to, and, you know, I form friends really quickly. So yeah, I already have people like, oh, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. So just trying to find my footing, man.
Good. That's what's up, man. Have you been to the beach yet?
You know what? Honestly, B, I'm not really a beach person. I like to look at the beach and look at the ocean, but I don't need to be out on the beach in the sand because I'm very particular, as you know. I'm all constantly wiping the sand off my feet and, like, the sand is everywhere. So I haven't been to the beach yet since I've been here. So today is Wednesday, so I've been here a week and 1 day.
Okay. Well, we're glad that you're getting settled in, man.
And I just want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Corey James, man. I mean, I listened to the show. He was an amazing stand-in for me. Anytime, Corey, you want to stand in for me when I have something to do, you're more than welcome, man. So I definitely enjoyed listening to last week's show.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I made sure that Corey knew that he had some big shoes to fill, and he definitely took that. He took that to heart. And he I think he came through and did a great job. So once again, shout out to Corey. Thanks. And but it's good to have you back, man. The listeners have been excited.
It's good to be back.
To have you back and just wanted to know how you were settling in. And so we're glad that you're getting everything ready in Miami. Man, have you picked up any new clients, or have you just been training your clients from New York, or what have you been doing?
I've just been training my clients from New York virtually. That's the beautiful thing about my training now, B, is that I can keep that money flow going, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of keep that routine going. So usually I'm training in the morning time, and then around 1 o'clock, I'm done for the day. And then I can go to the gym, get my workout in, and just kind of what happens after that happens. My first Friday night in Miami, I spent, anybody that follows me on Instagram, I did this exercise challenge that I almost nailed. I did it good, but I want to perfect it. And then just reading this book, man, I'm just want to give a recommendation for people, our readers out there, that Gray Boy by Cole Brown is an amazing book. So if you're looking for a book to check out, check that one out.
Cool. And speaking of recommendations, man, we need an alert. We need like a Netflix recommendation alert, because I got a good one, Russ. I got a good one.
You got a good one?
I got a good recommendation for Netflix. There is a show I've been watching called Startup. Have you seen it?
Okay. No, I haven't even heard about it.
Apparently, and I'm thinking it's a new show. It's not even a new show. Apparently, this show ran from 2016 to 2018, but it was on some other network, some like no-name network I'd never even heard of. But Netflix just picked it up, and it just debuted like May 5th. And at some point, we're going to have someone on. We have so many different guests and so many type of people we want to have on the show. At some point, we're going to get someone on to talk about finance and financial advice and this new wave of cryptocurrency, because the reason we haven't so far is because it's difficult to get someone who's actually a financial advisor, a certified financial advisor, to come on the show to talk about cryptocurrency, because it's not regulated. So we're having difficulty, but at some point we want to have someone on to talk about cryptocurrency, because I don't quite understand it. I know that it's the wave of the future. I understand parts of it, but I really want someone to come in and kind of give us like a deep dive and kind of educate us on it. But this show is all about cryptocurrency. It's about this young lady who has a code. She develops she develops like a company called GenCoin, and there's this guy who's an investor, and he invests some money, but it happens to be money from like the mob. And then there's a guy who was in like he's in like a gang out in Little Haiti, and it's all based in Miami. So I thought about this show because I thought about you.
Wow.
Because this entire show is set in Miami, and the colors are beautiful, all of the pastels, and it's shot really well. And they do a lot of drone footage, footage flying over, the port of Miami and all of that kind of stuff. So I have been like binge watching this show. It is really, it's really a good show, and that's a little bit racy. So I wouldn't recommend the show for, people, for kids or, under 14 or anything like that. But because of the subject matter, but it's an interesting show, and I've really been enjoying it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I got my Wi-Fi set up here, but I didn't get cable because I just want to watch my expenses, because I still have my apartment in Brooklyn. So I'm paying both rents right now until about September because I have no plans on going up to NYC during the winter time. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm down here. But summertime in New York is amazing. So I just want to watch my expenses, but I definitely will check it out on my iPad, man.
Okay, yeah, because you have your Netflix account still, right?
Yeah, I still have my Netflix account. Okay. So, and I've been streaming. So I was kind of like disappointed because, you know, the Knicks are playing really good. And when I'm in New York, I can just turn on MSG and watch the Knicks game like all the time, just similar to the WGN with Chicago Bulls and, you know, the Brooklyn Nets, the Yes Network. So like, the Knicks played on TNT last night, so I was like, man, I got to be able to find this. So I went to TNT, downloaded the app, and watched the Knicks play. They took a tough loss last night to the Lakers, but I'm glad that I can kind of stay in tune with the NBA season.
Now, what are you doing with your apartment? Are you subletting it? Are you renting it out, or is it just what are you doing with it?
Right now, B, I want to be able to come back and forth in the summertime. I want to try to get up to New York City like at least 3 times. Okay. In the summertime, because I do really enjoy New York, and for the people that are in New York and for the people that are outside of New York, this summer in New York City is going to be epic, right? I mean, it's opening back up. We have a lot of like cool things that are new, you know, that you can do outside. So it's going to be a great summer in New York City, and I want to, you know, take part in that. And I don't want to have to stay with somebody when I come up. So I want to have my apartment, you know, available to me. And then when September, October hits, then sublet it out.
I got you. Well, Russ, a lot of people come to us for relationship advice. I don't know why. Have no idea. But when we talk to people,
yeah, I don't either, since I'm not in a relationship.
When we talk to people, and when people, we ask them what kind of topics they want to hear. And this is not necessarily when people call into the show, but when I talk to people about the podcast, because I'm sure just like you, when, you know, people, when they talk to you about the podcast and they want to give you topics and suggestions and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things I always hear, man, is we want to hear more stuff about relationships. We want to hear more relationship topics and this and that. And I said, okay, you know, and at some point, we do have some relationship experts lined up to come on the show because we are by no means relationship experts. So we will have some relationship experts at some point come on the show. But I had a question for you, and this just popped into my mind the other day. So everyone knows that Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez they called off their engagement. April 5th, I believe, is when they broke up and called off their engagement to be married. And now it appears that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have rekindled their romance from 17 years ago. Like 17 years ago, they were engaged to be married. And they were they took a solo trip to Montana. And apparently, you know, we don't necessarily know exactly what's going on, but all appearances point to the fact that they are, if not dating, rekindling some kind of romance. So my question to you is, what is your opinion on going back to old relationships? And I'm not talking about old relationships like you broke up for like a month or two. I'm talking about a relationship from like maybe 2-3 years ago, or even 10 years ago, you know, depending on how old you are. I guess that it increases the length of how long the relationship could have been, you know, but in the rearview mirror.
I mean, you're not dating at 6 or 7 years old,
right?
Like long,
right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
what's your opinion on that, Russ? Is this a good idea, bad idea, or what do you think?
You know what, B? It's a good question. One of my friends were asking me, do people change, the other day. I think for a person to change, you have to work on it every single day to change, right? And it usually will be brought on by something like traumatic in your life, whether it be kind of good or bad, where you see, okay, I need to work on myself. I am pretty much an expert in this field, B, because the last long-term relationship I had, me and my girlfriend at the time, we tried to make it work 3 times. Okay, so it wasn't 5 years or 3 years in between breakups. It was like a year and a half, right? Where we still kept in contact. We dated other people, and
Was it
I
one of
think
those times after like 4
since
years
we
though?
did still keep in contact. No.
Okay.
I mean, I met her when I was 25, when I first moved to New York City.
Okay.
We tried it, probably lasted maybe like 8 or 9 months, and then we went our separate ways. And then I came back maybe like a year, and then it didn't even last maybe 3 months. And then we went our separate ways, and then that probably was a year and a half separation. And then I came back again, and we lasted for 6 years, then ultimately broke up in December of 2015. So I think that if I had to do over again, I think that we broke up for a reason, and that is going to be the same reason that we break up in the future. So I try not to look back.
Yeah, that's one of those things
That's what I would tell my younger self.
that's what you tell your younger self. Yeah, they say that you should remember that people are exes for a reason. But then you have those
Right.
cases where people do break up, and it could be for whatever reasons. It could have been a maturity thing or something that they couldn't get over, and then they get back together at some point, and then they are able to make it work. But usually it's not like years and years in between. You know what I'm saying? Because another thing is when you
Right.
put all this space and time in between, you kind of muddy the situation because now other people are involved, other situations, other experiences, and that can be a good thing or bad thing.
Right.
That can make someone
Right.
say,
Right.
well, you know, you can date someone else and say, you know what, I really miss the other person because I thought the other person was bad, but now compared to this person, they weren't at all. You know what I'm saying? Or
It's, it's like the Bush, like recognizing Bush wasn't that bad when we had Trump. It's like, damn, we
Exactly.
take Bush back in a heartbeat.
like the grass isn't always greener. Yeah, but when you have these like after 17 years, and I don't know. I don't think there's a hard and set rule on something like that. I think that people do change, but I agree with you. I don't think that people change from conversations. I don't think people change from someone convincing them that they were right or wrong about an issue. I think that when people do change, I think that's a very
Right.
personal thing.
Mannerisms.
I think they change
all
because
that.
of experiences that have happened to them, or because there's actually some personal growth that happens that usually has nothing to do with another person. You know what I'm saying? I think that's more of a very internal thing.
Yeah.
And I've changed a lot as I've
Right.
grown, and it had nothing to do with like another person. It had things to do with experiences and things that have kind of happened to me that were involved in my progression. You know what I'm saying? So I think if
The reason why,
no, go ahead.
let me just say this. The reason why I went back, B, just because we were friends, and when we hung out, right, it was great. And then when you're separated from somebody, you kind of forget the reasons why you broke up.
Right.
You just kind of remember all the good times. At least on my case, that's how it was, right? And then I'm like, oh man, this is good. I forgot, how much we got along. And then, those issues start to arise, that the reason why I left, because, I broke up with her, but then I also came back to her, right? But every time I went my separate way or broke up, it was the same issue, right? So it just depends, man. It just depends, man. I think also too, you can say that, what's the saying be, when you appreciate something when it's gone or when it's done,
Yeah, you don't know what
you
you got
appreciate
till
it
it's
more.
gone. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I think that I fell victim of that, but then what we broke up, and not to get too much into the relationship, but why we broke up was a major issue in relationships. I mean, the major issues in relationship is what? Money, sex.
Family, religion.
I think there's another one, but family, religion, all that. So
Finance. Yeah,
it
you
was
said
one
money.
of those. Yep, that was one of those reasons that we broke up. So 17 years is a long time, and I thought that Ben Affleck just kind of reached out to her. They actually said that they're kind of, because that you need time for. I mean, she was in with Alex Rodriguez for a minute, right?
Well, it looks like they took a trip to Montana together. So that's
And you know, anytime you take a trip with somebody, especially a past ex, you know, you're not just like
you're not just holding hands.
reading books together.
Right.
You know,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we will see how this plays out. And what I do know and what I do think is this, like you just alluded to, this quickly after a relationship, after she just broke up with Alex Rodriguez, it's a rebound. You know what I'm saying? It's not even, I mean, she might as well have a jersey on. You know what I'm saying? She might as well have a jersey, shorts, and gym shoes on, because this is a rebound.
Definitely, right? She's like the Dennis Rodman of rebound.
Yeah, this is definitely a rebound. And,
wow.
And that's the thing is, as Ben Affleck, you know, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being that rebound guy if it depends on what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? If you want a real relationship.
Exactly. I don't have a problem with being a rebound guy. Right.
Well, it depends.
Then it's a issue.
If you're looking for a real relationship that's going to like develop and turn into something, this probably isn't the best time to date her. But
Right.
if you're just looking to be the recipient of being the rebound guy, and she needs somebody to
Her attention.
she needs a diversion, she needs someone to divert her attention to, and to just cuddle with, and to comfort and console her, then he's single, she's single,
and other things.
What'd you say?
I said, and other things.
Yeah. So
You said cuddle with. I'm talking about, you know, those other things that people need.
yeah. So it just depends on what you're looking for, and it depends. I mean, they're adults. It depends on what he's looking for and what she's looking for.
Right.
I don't know. I think everything is situational. I don't think there are any rules to life. I've seen many situations where people have been apart for a while and gotten back together, and it's worked. I've seen many situations where it has not. I think it really is going to come down to both people,
Right.
and where they are in their lives. But you know, we'll see. We'll stay tuned. So good luck to shout out to J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
That's a good point, B. That's a good point, B, because what works for you may not work for me. So, you know, it's just all about, you know, being open to it and trying not to shut things out just because of what people say or what society says.
Exactly. Okay, cool. And you know, Russ, one thing, and I don't know if this is true. This is something I don't even know if this is 100% true. But you know how I always forget to tell people to subscribe to the show?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I heard Apple is doing an update to where it's not going to be subscribe anymore. It's going to be follow. So we won't have to tell people to subscribe to the show anymore. We'll tell them to follow the show, because I guess subscribe has a connotation that you're paying for something, you know? So I heard
Right.
someone say that they were going to switch
Right.
it out to follow. So I know, and see, that's the thing.
Makes sense.
We forgot, because I was supposed to tell people to subscribe, quote unquote, or follow at the beginning of the show, and then you were supposed to do it at the end, because I always forget to do it. So I forgot to do it already. So we've reached the end of the show.
Okay, but before that, B, before that, I just want to, if our listeners are a college football fan, they heard about the death of Colt Brennan. He was the third runner-up to the Heisman Trophy in 2007. He died of an apparent overdose, and he's actually Layla, who is my friend down in Miami's niece's uncle. So just want to say that our thoughts and prayers are with the Brennan family, and Those drugs have taken out many, many people, many talented people, many loving people. So I just want to pay our respects to Colt Brennan.
Yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace. That's very unfortunate. So prayers to Layla and her family and Colt's entire family, everyone. That's very tough.
He's the quarterback for the University of Hawaii from 2005 to 2007. So, yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Once again, if anyone else wants to send voicemails, you guys can email us at FromNYCToTheChi@gmail.com. That's FromNYCToTheChi@gmail.com. Send us questions, comments, whatever you want. We've been getting a lot of emails, Russ. People have actually been emailing me to the email address, and that's great, but we actually would appreciate if you guys actually, instead of writing it, just go ahead and record a voice note for us so we can actually play it on the show, because it's one thing for me to read it and I absolutely will respond, but we just want everyone to hear what you guys' thoughts are on the show. So please definitely send us voicemail messages.
I think you mentioned it earlier in the season of our show, B, that I think a lot of times people are intimidated by the voicemail with the email, and I think that's why people are writing out emails, because they're like, how do I do that? So It's not that hard, guys. And again, if you guys have our numbers, you can definitely leave a voice message with us too. So
absolutely. All right. And Russ, this is where you tell people, if they want to support the show, what should they do?
So until they change it, you can subscribe, or you can follow if you follow us on the Apple Podcast. You know when that change is supposed to take place, B?
I'm not sure. And like I said, I don't even know if this is actually a real thing or not. I just heard some people talking about it. I was listening to another podcast and I heard people talking about it. So I haven't actually read it with my own eyes.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if you were aware of this, but apparently, according to this other podcast I was listening to, they were saying that it's supposed to switch to follow. So my work phone is an Apple.
Okay. Well, if you see that,
and my personal phone is a Galaxy, so I have both of them. So I will see. When I do see it happen, I will let you know.
Okay. Well, if that button is there saying subscribe, still click it. We won't charge you for listening to the show. All right?
Yeah.
We will not charge you for listening to the show. So still click that subscribe button if it's there.
Right. Definitely subscribe, follow, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you like this show, if this show gives you a little bit of a distraction, a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of a respite from your, day-to-day activities, and you enjoy listening to us, please follow us, subscribe to us. If you watch us on YouTube, definitely please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and listen to us on all the podcast platforms. So, Russ, if you don't have anything else, that's a great show. It's so good to have you back. Glad that you made it back from Miami. Glad that you made it to Miami safely with the move, and that you're getting settled in. And just good to have you back, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Missed you guys last week. And again, big ups to Corey James for filling in for me. So I will be here. Well, that is to be announced about next week's show.
Yeah, a lot going on. We may not have a show next week, so we may or may not be back next week, but we will be back at some point in the near future. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining the From New York to the Chi podcast. I'm your boy, B Moore. You can find me on Instagram at BE More4Photography.
And I'm your boy, Rustin. And you can find me on the gram at Rustin_Steward.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. See you guys next week. As we always say, peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Be safe.